Hi, Sagittarius. It's Erin Scott here. And as you can see here, we have some paper on a table, and I'm going to take some charcoal to it. We're going to tap in and see what imagery wants to come through, what pictures, shapes, forms, archetypes, what is it that's wanting to come through to tap into your January 16th, 2018 Capricorn new moon cycle for the next month. What growth edge is playing out for you? Now, the form of a heart came immediately for your narrative. This is for Sagittarius suns, most specifically. And you can see that the heart clearly brings forward issues of relationship, issues of love. It doesn't have to be romantic. It can be familial love, family, social love, friends. And it can be also romantic as well. So there's many different kinds. Parent, child, etc. And you can see that there's this arc that I drew kind of at the base of the heart. The tail of it, the tail of the heart is extending beyond, in it, through it. But there's some kind of bisection, let's say, of the heart as a whole. So there's some issue that's coming through with regards to love in relationships. And you can see some eyes are developing here. There's one key relationship that I think a lot of Sagittariuses are going to be focused most on, because you can see that there's the big heart and the smaller one that's floating next to it, which might indicate past narratives, patterns in relationships. That is a memory set that's kind of backing up maybe what's happening with the current relationship. And you can see here that the tail of the heart is penetrating through, it's bisecting the eye, specifically the right eye, which indicates the left brain. This is the analytic brain, the analytic mind, the partitioned mind, that which identifies and identifies and likes to understand the parts linearly, analytically. And in the forehead here, between the eyes, worry lines or lines in the forehead came, and then kind of a worry line in between the eyes started to form. So there's some focus for the Sagittarius evolutionary narrative at this time with regards to discerning, perhaps, contemplating and discerning what is going on with relationships. What are the patterns? What I get is that there is, in the analytic aspect of the self, not in the intuitive emotional, but in the analytic, there is worry, maybe a spinning mind about some relationship patterns that have not been healthy, that have been imbalanced, or have not worked out. And you can see in the middle here, there's almost like a bubble, like in a comic strip. And inside this bubble, coming up from the mind, is a thought. And the word new, with an exclamation point, wanted to be written there. So you desire a new way of being with love, a new way of being in relationship. You want to learn, you want to grow beyond the patterns that have been perhaps imbalanced, perhaps toxic. Interestingly, this form wanted to come over the left eye. And this is a lens. It's like one half of an eyeglass pair. So there's this lens over the left eye, which designates the right brain, the intuitive brain, the emotional brain, the one that's more holistically seeing and understands holistic relationships, the bigger picture, the long view. So there's a clarity for you, Sagittarius, over the course of the cycle intuitively, emotionally. So pay attention to the wisdom within, really, because it is the spinning mind, the mind that identifies, the one that is more connected to how the ego structure, the function of the ego within the mind, operates in our earthly reality. And it does serve function, but it has become imbalanced with modern humanity because it's been given a role of the only way humans are optimally to understand the world, when of course that's not the case at all. It's 1/4 of how humans are to understand the world. So it's a myth. It's a myth that we've been indoctrinated into and hypnotized by. So here you can see there's almost like, I want to say chrysanthemum, and I actually don't know if that's the right word, but there was this form that, where I'm highlighting here in the middle, it's almost like a flower, it's a bloom, it's a fully bloomed flower. And again, I want to say that it's a chrysanthemum. I don't know if that's true, but it came kind of above the forehead, almost above the third eye, next to the heart, and next to the new. So there's a new bloom, a new formation, a new growth, a new emergence happening for a lot of you that are mindfully owning your story, your narrative, your perceptions, your belief systems, your soul story, and wanting to evolve and grow it. And you can see from the G in Sag, there's these arrows that are pointing outward. So you are looking forward. You do have some optimistic, freedom-oriented view for where you'd like to be with regards to relationships, Sag. And this is a great thing. And what I get from the G is it's telling me go. So for you with new and the G accentuated with the 3 arrows, which has to do with communications, 3 has to do with creativity, 3 has to do with community. And so it could be that friend groups, social interactions that involve a collective could be very valuable for those of you willing to step out in that direction, because it's going to connect you appropriately for the new pattern of love and relationships that's wanting to emerge through you.